Hey everybody, welcome back. Come on in, have a seat. Hope you are doing well. In this video today, I just wanted to talk a little bit about some of my favorite games that I've played so far this year. And this isn't going to be a comprehensive list of everything I've played. This is just going to be kind of so far my favorites, what has really stood out to me. And this really only goes up through about the first half of the year because obviously there's still, a few more months left in the year, and I'm still currently playing some new games that have come out in the last couple months. So, with that said, I'm just gonna kind of go through a few of the games that I thought were really great this year so far. And I don't want to actually speak too fast. I have a problem, I know, with speaking fast when I talk about games because I get very passionate about games. So I'm gonna try to keep it slow and not, speed my way through this. Hopefully I can maintain that. We'll see. All right. We're going to start with the first game here. I don't know if you can guess what console this is for based on the sound of the box. I've always thought oh yeah, I could totally tell that's a disc. So it must be for, PlayStation or Xbox. Can you guess which console this is for? It is a Nintendo Switch game, specifically Pokemon Legends Arceus. Legends Arceus, or Arceus, depending on who you are. I personally say Arceus, but that's not, I don't know if there's an official way to say it. I guess in the game, they do say Arc Phone, so that makes me think it's Arceus, or Arceus. But however you say it, this game is honestly really great. I'm a huge Pokemon fan, and Pokemon has been a huge part of my life since I was a kid, and this is the first game in a long time to really make me feel like I did when I first played Pokemon as a kid. Like, it was a massive breath of fresh air, I think, for the series. I think it really breathed new life into the series, being able to actually explore an entirely open world, and, well, mostly open world. You go to the different zones, and within the zones you have open exploration. But actually being able to, throw a Pokeball, aim and throw a Pokeball at a Pokemon was the coolest experience when I first did it. I'm like, wow, this is I actually feel like I'm really catching Pokemon, not just, pushing a button and the ball goes. You gotta actually aim, you gotta actually watch the behavior of the Pokemon, and you make sure you throw at the right time. So many cool ideas. I do think it was lacking a little bit in the story department. I mean, the story was fine, it was serviceable, but it was a little short. It wasn't that interesting. I will say the final boss, though, was a big surprise. If you haven't, I'm not going to spoil it if you have not played it yet, but the final boss, actually was challenging. The rest of the game wasn't too hard, although some of the noble Pokemon, trying to time your dodges and stuff, was a little hard. But the final boss, oh my gosh, that's the hardest battle I've had in a Pokemon game since probably fighting Cynthia in Diamond and Pearl. But yeah, it was overall massively a massive good time. I was massively impressed with it, and I really cannot wait for Scarlet and Violet now. I hope that it, builds off of everything that Legends Arceus set up. So, yeah, here's some good gripping sounds. Alright. Move on to the next game here. Tapping on it again, I don't know if you can tell what it is yet. Well, that might have given it away. It is triangle strategy. So this game, I feel like, is very underrated, overlooked. Like, there wasn't a lot of hype or a lot of discussion about it when it came out. And I feel like that is a massive disservice to this game, because this game is fantastic. I'm a big strategy RPG, JRPG fan, and I think this game really nailed the look and feel of games like Final Fantasy Tactics, like the classic Fire Emblem, and the art style. Like, if you like this kind of 2D HD pixel art but in 3D art style, this game looks beautiful. I personally am a big fan of that art style. I really liked Octopath Traveler. I really liked what is the other one? Oh, you know what? It's the Dragon Quest III remake that they're doing. I'm excited about that too. But this game nails that look. It's beautiful. It is very... One of the things that I really appreciate about strategy games is how, like, the customization, I guess, of characters. And this game is really interesting in the fact that you can recruit... You have to, like, choose different paths. Essentially, you don't really choose, but there are 3 different paths that you can try to follow, and based on how you interact with people and the choices you make, I'm trying not to spoil too much, based on the way you interact with people and the choices you make, they affect which route you end up taking. And I think that's really neat. But for customization, I like that depending on which route you take, there are different characters you can recruit and different skill trees for each character. I think that works really well in an RPG like this. And the battles just play out really nicely. I feel like the combat is designed to be fairly balanced. You know, a lot of tactics RPGs have trouble balancing combat a lot of the times, I think. And this one was challenging without being, like, overbearing. Like, you could go and grind if you needed to help you beat certain chapters. And I really appreciated that. So this, I think, again, is a great strategy RPG. I think it's super underrated, and there wasn't enough discussion of this when it came out. The next game, I think you've probably seen before if you have watched a previous video of mine. And this game it took the series that it's from in a new direction, and I think it did a really great job doing that, and I was really pleased. It's very adorable. It is Kirby and the Forgotten Lands. And I think this game is kind of the Mario 3D world of Kirby games. Like, it's not a true 3D Kirby game, but it's, you know, 3D enough. You still follow, like, a linear path, but you have the multi-directional movement. You're not locked on a 2D plane like most other Kirby games. And I really like that. I think it worked well. I really liked the hilarity of, like, like using these power-ups, the massive mouthful mode. Those are always so fun and ridiculous looking. And I really think that this kind of, a lot of Kirby games I know with, like, Star Allies, people thought, okay, you know, it's just another Kirby game. It's very formulaic. It's very basic. You know, you're just a 2D platformer that's pretty easy. But I think this really kind of broke that mold. And a lot of the levels were, like, I think, brilliantly designed to kind of stand out from each other and not just be another generic Kirby game. And I really hope going forward they continue this trend of either a hybrid, like 3D with multi-directional movement like this, or like a true 3D, like a, you know, Super Mario Odyssey type, but Kirby. Because I love it when franchises innovate like that, and I think Kirby is especially a good franchise to innovate with that kind of stuff. So yeah, this is an adorable game that can get kind of dark. I feel like that's every Kirby game though. Adorable, but then it gets weirdly dark. And I would definitely recommend this if you are a new, you know, Nintendo Switch owner or a new just to video games in general. Definitely give Kirby and the Forgotten Lands a look, because it's not that hard, but it is very satisfying and very cute. Alright, the next game on my list here. Let's see, this, if you can tell, this doesn't make the sound I thought it would, but let's see if you can still tell. You could see there, this is Horizon Forbidden West. And this game is probably one of the most like visually beautiful games I've seen. Like, the tech that goes into making this look the way it does and run on the PS5 is crazy. Like, aside, okay, there have been a few instances where I encountered some glitches, like there was one I took a screenshot of someone's body just not appearing. So they just look like a floating head with arms and legs. But otherwise, like, the level of detail on the environments and on the characters is like insane. And the way, like, cloth and hair physics, like, it looks so good. And I was so impressed. And the water, everything about the environment looked great in this game. And it was also a really, you know, it was fun. It felt mechanically similar to Horizon Zero Dawn, with, you know, a few new improvements, a few different weapon types and different machines you could override and things like that. But the best part of it, I feel like, was the story. And I am a big fan of RPGs with good, well, I don't know if this is really an RPG, more of an adventure game, but good stories and good characters really can make or break a game like this for me, and this had both good story and good characters, and I really love this kind of take on a post-apocalyptic sci-fi type game. Yeah, I would highly recommend this. If you haven't played Horizon Zero Dawn, play that first for sure. That is also a great game, but I think this, you know, really takes it to the next level. Like, this really steps up what the first game did to make something that is really great. So yeah, I kind of thought tapping on this, you'd be able to hear, well, there you kind of can, the disc more. We'll see if our last game here has a better disc sound. Is the disc even in this? The disc might not be in this case right now. I think it might actually be in my PS5. But the last game that I'm going to show is probably to this point my game of the year, and I have a feeling it'll be very difficult to beat. There are some other good games out there right now that I'm playing, but I have a feeling that this game will not be topped, and I feel like it's probably going to be a lot of people's game of the year. And that game is Elden Ring. Now, I am a huge fan of Soulsborne, Sekiro games, the From Software games in general, and other just Souls-like games I am a huge fan of. And so when Elden Ring was announced, I feel like most people, I was so hyped for it. Eagerly awaiting its launch, eagerly awaiting any information about it. And the more and more we saw about Elden Ring, the more I was like, yes, this game looks fantastic. And the verdict is, it is fantastic. It is a rare case where a game lives up to the hype, maybe even exceeds the hype. There is very little that I dislike about this game. There are a few like nitpicky details I have, but for the most part, this game is like the perfect like evolution of the Souls-like formula. Adding the open world exploration, I just felt like I've put in so like dozens and dozens of hours into this game. But there's still stuff that I'm finding that I never actually found in the game that is new to me even after all these hours. I'm like, what? How can a game be this big? And man, and the lore, the world, like visually, but also like level design wise, the world is fantastic. The lore is interesting, like doing deep dives into the lore, the character designs. It's unrivaled. But that being said, this game I don't think is for everyone because again, it is a Souls-like game, notoriously difficult, and this game is quite difficult. Though if you are new to the genre and are interested, it's worth a shot because it's definitely the best, well, in my opinion, the best Souls-like game I've played. I think it just edges out Bloodborne for me. But yeah, I think this is probably my game of the year. It's gonna be probably hard to top. This is another one of those games where I like to customize my player. I like having the option to, each playthrough I could do a different build. There's so many weapons and so much armor to find that it's, you never have to play the same build twice. Like, you could do something completely different on each playthrough, and I love that kind of thing. I love being able to customize things. That makes it that's what really makes a game replayable in my mind. And Elden Ring is great in that regard. I would say it is a long game though, so if you plan on playing it, make sure you are ready to invest at least 60 to 70 hours just to beat the main game. And that's not even exploring everything because I'm still playing and finding new things, and I have over 80 hours in the game at this point. So and I think the disc is still in my PS5 because I was playing it recently. It was probably the last game I was playing on my PS5, so yeah. But this game is fantastic. I love it. I can't think of what else I was going to say about it, but it is definitely up there as becoming one of my, not only my game of the year, but one of my favorite games of all time. So I love this game, and I would highly recommend it to everyone. Alright, so that is all that I've got for today. Hopefully I can, if this video does well, I can do another one like this, going over more of the games that I've played this year after they either come out or I finish the ones I'm currently playing. But yeah, so let me know if there are any other, games that you've enjoyed this year that I didn't talk about. There's a lot of indie games or digital games that I wanted to talk about, but of course I don't actually have any physical thing that I could tap on, so I figured it's probably better to have physical games to tap on because then you get that extra tappy sounds. Is that a good sound? But yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you had a relaxing time, and I will see you later.